What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Friday night. Just got paid. It's Friday night. I hope everybody just got paid. Whatever it is you do for a living. I hate when my shirt be crooked every time I on there, man. Captain Crooked shirt. But yeah, man, we here Friday night. And as y'all can see, I hope y'all see we got a topic tonight. We have something that we need to discuss because it's based around something that I'm seeing locally. Um, I don't know if I should go all the way into it, but I do want to address it. I guess I'll touch on it a little bit. But either way it goes, man, everybody who shows up, I did a billion of these, so but we'll still repeat the protocol. Y'all hit the like button as you come in. Click the like button as you come in. And do me a favor, make sure that y'all are all subscribed to the channel. And once you subscribe to the channel, make sure you have your notifications on. That's the process. That's the steps. It's a two-step program. Just subscribe, notifications. Subscribe, notifications. Um, we might reach 100,000 one day. We're a long way. We about the distance from uh, Mercury to the sun right about now. But you never know. But I saw Connie in the building. I see my brother Marcus in the building, Alonzo Davis, few people have chimed in already. But y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, man. Uh, this topic is called the art of mislabeling people. And the reason why I named it that was because when you look at how media moves, and when I say media, I mean traditional mainstream media, mainstream news media, local media, um, entertainment media, and in this day and age, even social media, especially social media, because that's a constant interaction. They have 24-hour news cycles now, but social media is just constant interaction, and it's something that we seek out and that we go to. Um, and what happens is when these media outlets, whatever they might be, when they become powerful enough, see, with power comes influence. See, with power comes influence. And when you have the power, meaning the platform, you have the numbers, then that means you have the eyes watching you, looking at your platform, and you have influence. So if your platform is one that people gravitate towards, if it's one that people um, regularly tune into or regularly check out because whatever reason they like to hear what you have to say, then you have influence over the people, over a group of people. And having influence does not mean that you're right or that you're morally um, in line, because there have been many people who didn't have the best intentions of the people in heart, but they had charisma. They were articulate. They were able to pull people in just through conversation. Just they had the mouthpiece, whatever it was that attracting power that they had. They didn't use it for good. They used it for evil. So the people that follow them, whatever they say becomes the law. Whatever they say becomes the absolute truth in the people, in the followers' mind. Even if the person who's leading the people into the falsehood, even if they themselves know that it's a lie. See, some people are just charlatans. Some people are just, they know that what they're doing is a scam, but it may be beneficial to them financially. They may be just in love with the power and the influence, however you lay it out, but they know. And they understand the power and influence they have. So this long introduction is to kind of just lay a base for how I really want to go and where I really want to go. Because it's real dangerous, man, when you see these outlets that have this kind of power to basically destroy other people with their power. Because they know if they say something, the people who rock with them are going to take it as gospel. So I see a news report, local. Y'all are not going to know what this is about unless you live in my city. But or maybe you did, because social media is the real deal. So maybe you are familiar. But a brother got caught up in an alleged teaching scandal, something that's revolving around school teaching and certifications and things of that nature. And there are multiple teachers and other people in the education system across different schools involved in it, allegedly. And now they've been brought in and they're being questioned and potentially charged, or they may have already been charged with whatever the charge is. And what stuck out to me and what motivated the title to this video is that they labeled him a kingpin. A kingpin. Now, according to the United States of America and the judicial system and how it supposedly ran and how cases are supposedly approached, a man or a woman is presumed innocent until proven guilty, right? That's what they say, right? That's what they say. Okay. But even in the allegation phase, they have labeled this brother a kingpin. So why is that a big deal? Why is that a big deal? Why is that a big deal? They labeled him a kingpin. This is why. Because guilty or not guilty, the word kingpin has always been associated with what? I'll let y'all put it in the comment. What has the word kingpin always been associated with? I'm gonna wait a few seconds. We got one. I see one. I see two. 3 is a charm. Bang, there it is. Here it comes. So kingpin has always been associated with selling dope, being a drug dealer, but not just being any old drug dealer. You ain't just the little dude on the corner walking up the cars and handing them a rock and getting $10. I'm going back to the 90s now. I don't know how they doing it now. You ain't the dude that got the little weed house over there in the hood and whatever. Kingpin represents that you are the head of a multi-million-dollar operation. You are the head of an operation connected. So if you go back to the 90s, when you had uh, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and all the people who were a part of that administration, they came up with the crime bill, 1994 crime bill, where a lot of people who was selling dope that was not even kingpins, were not even close to being kingpins, ended up getting a whole lot of time and doing a whole lot of time for nonviolent drug of offenses, selling dope, whatever, right? When people hear the word kingpin associated with that, my theory is that it automatically activates something in the mind of a jury, a judge, a prosecutor, or however they want to lay, whoever was involved in the situation, to approach the trying of a case of a person who was labeled as a kingpin, to approach it with that same mindset that they would approach it if somebody actually was a drug kingpin or a gang, a high level gang leader. I don't mean just, okay, you got your little hood gang. I mean the real gangsters, right? So I had an issue with that. I didn't like that they tagged him with that because I felt like it was a motive behind it. And I just explained what I believe that motive is or could be. So we got to be careful when we watch the news, when we read these things that come down from these positions and they place these labels on people, wrong or right, I don't know. But label, call it for what it is, man. Whatever the charge is, call it for what it is. Don't try to be sneaky and apply those types of labels on it, because that can turn a 5-year sentence into a 25-year sentence. That could turn 8 years of this that could turn uh, heavy probation into 8 years in prison, because they're trying to lump somebody into the same category as somebody else whose crimes may be a little bit more extreme. And the arrest came so immediate, which is okay. All right, it is what it is. And I won't go into the double standards. I won't go into the racial double standards that we see, because based on what the charge is, maybe I will, because, Brett Favre never got charged. He's still walking around. But to mislabel people is very dangerous, man. And this message goes out to all of us, because it's always been done through media. We would always see something happen, and you'll see a group of black brothers at the park barbecuing or something like that, or they'll be just posted up in the neighborhood that they live in, but they're not really wanted in the neighborhood. Or a fight will break out at a basketball game, and the first thing that will come that you'll see in the comment section, look at those thugs. Look at those thugs. Two dudes got into it playing basketball. They got into a fight. Two other people jumped in, swung through a few punches. Now all of a sudden, the basketball players are thugs. See, thug is a cold word, because what makes them a thug? Because they had a fight. You mislabel. But when you put that word thug out there like that, now you have a perception that's being crafted and created, and it turns into anytime you see a young brother, that's one of them thugs. He's a thug, he's a thug, he's a thug. So thug is a mislabel. It's a mislabeling when you calling somebody a thug who's not. And it's also a code word for the N word in a lot of cases, because you got a lot of different N word codes, things that they can't just blatantly get on TV and say. But when you say the other word, it's understood in your circle who you're talking about. So all of those things line people up to get jammed up because the police buy into it. People in the community buy into it. And now this is who you are. So you see a young man, you see a Trayvon Martin who just going to the store to get something to drink and some Skittles. He ends up getting profiled. And that's all profiling is. It's mislabeling. It's like a description, mental and visual and mental. A description is cast out, and based on that description, this is how we handle you. It's the power of suggestion. They can make the world think anything about you that they want the world to think about you. So, and I know what some people might be thinking, but man, well, what if they really are? What if they're doing this? What if they're out there doing it? If they're out there doing whatever it is that they may be out there doing, you still have to address that as it is. But it's always going to be, no matter what you do, whatever level it is, it's going to always be a little extra seasoning salt get poured on it for the desired result. They want you to die at the hands of law enforcement. They want you to get sentenced to a whole lot of time that you'll never be able to get out from under. All of these things come as a result of the pre-setting up of the labeling. They make the world look at you in a certain way. That's why when people come from overseas, when people come from different countries and they set up shop in a black neighborhood, they already have a preconceived judgment about who we are. But they don't have no problem setting up shop, opening up their stores in our neighborhood and getting our money. Now, should we carry ourselves in ways that give them a reason to believe that they're right about us? No. I'm not justifying any wrong that anybody does. But there is an overblowing of how they present us, the negative light. And again, it's the power of suggestion, swaying public opinion in the public and in court. See? And it's done sometimes without actually applying a label to it, because anytime the police, and I'm not going to say make a mistake, because it's not a mistake in my opinion. A lot of times they are, when they're racially profiling, they're setting out to try to do some harm to a black person. But when they do what they do, unjustly kill somebody, unjustly beat or shoot somebody, right? What do they do? What's the first thing that the media does when the story is like, oh, this is gonna be a big one? The media does not take aim at the officer who carried out the act of police brutality. They don't take aim at him. The first thing they do is they go to the victim and they start trying to look for dirt. They start trying to figure out what dirt they can pull up on the victim. Well, he was arrested in 2017 for a drug offense and did about 6 months in the county, and bringing up stuff that's totally irrelevant to what happened to him or her at the hands of the so-called protectors, the so-called system that's supposedly in place to be fair, unbiased. They look for something to pin on them because they do that to sway public opinion into saying it's justified what happened. They did it to George Floyd. They did it to George Floyd. Did I mention that they did it to George Floyd? Oh, okay. They started going all into the past and trying to pull up stuff when the whole world saw on camera Derek Chauvin, whatever his name is, leaning and kneeling his knee on the neck of George Floyd in broad daylight and killed him right in front of everybody who was watching that day. But they had to find a way. Forget what your eyes are seeing, that this man is murdering a person right there. Well, he was on this drug, or he had into it with his girlfriend back in. That should be your sign to know that there's some trickery going on when the story is being presented. Because what do that got to do with anything? When the police officer came into the wrong apartment and killed Botham John, the female officer, they tried to say he had some marijuana in the house. So what? If he did, so what? Let's address the fact that this woman came into this man's house, which was not her house, and shot and killed that man in his own house. That man sitting in his house minding his business. They always gotta. So even if that's not a label, they gotta try to step on the story a little bit. And to whoever that was, somebody saying that his name, that's ODS. No, I saw pictures of his knee on his neck. This is not something that you can tell me that my eyes did not see. You got to go look up more pictures then, because I clearly saw knee on neck. There are pictures out there with knee on neck. Maybe that was some knee on back too, of course. But I definitely saw knee on neck. These were my eyes. So public opinion can be swayed, and they will present you in a way that will you're just the worst of the worst. I never heard anybody refer to Bernie Madoff as a kingpin. Bernie Madoff stung for billions. Man, can anybody pull up the amount of money that Bernie Madoff hit for during his that's too big to be labeled a scam. When I hear about scams and scamming, that's lightweight in my mind. Maybe, I guess they got different degrees of scam, but how much did Bernie Madoff hit for? Anybody got that? Can somebody pull that up for your big brother? LW say either way, they still killed him. So, well, yeah, absolutely. Great point. But his knee was on his neck at one point. So, but yeah, it wouldn't matter if his knee was on his ankle. He killed him. So we can't nitpick and say, well, it wasn't the knee on the neck, it was the knee on the back. Okay, Kellen Cash Coleman says that Bernie Madoff popped for 65 billion. Billion. Y'all put a B. Put a B in the chat, man. Everybody in the chat put a B in there because we got to make sure they don't think I'm saying million with an M. We want to see B's. $65 billion. I have not heard every story related to the Bernie Madoff situation, but I don't remember or recall anybody labeling him as a kingpin or anything of the sort. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't see it. But that's some kingpin. That's like, that might, kingpin might, no, that's right. Kingpin might be too lightweight. Because I've seen drug dealers, but I'm not that I know personally, but I'm saying I've seen stories about drug dealers who were making $1 million a week. Drug dealers who, in their time frame of reigning at the top of the streets, have been estimated to have made 200 million, 300 million over a period of time. I've seen this. These are kingpins, right? So if 300 million gets you the kingpin classification, okay, cool. Yeah, that's a kingpin. $1 million in an alleged racket, whatever was going on, and it's not even drug related, that don't get you the kingpin label, but it might get you the kingpin time. That's why they put the label on there in the first place. But what do you label 65 billion? What name do you give that one? Because kingpin is too little. So we got to watch when they start applying these little slick labels. Thug. They like to say animals. See? But it's lightweight compared to the big thugs and gangsters, to the big animal. These are not even just animals, because a rabbit is an animal, but a rabbit ain't gonna hurt nobody. So these ain't just animals. These are demons. These are monsters. Y'all hit that like button for your big brother if you haven't already, man. They misuse the words and they misplace the words for a desired result. So one word means really something else. It means something else. Like back in the days, you said, you people, the problem with you people is cold. That's why all black folks get offended when somebody say you people. See, you people, hey. You say you people, we going left. But now there are other words. So I read a lot of comments on different videos and articles and things of that nature that I read on social issues. And you got to keep up with the code words. So if somebody says, you read, or some guy, oh, that's the problem with this. If you're watching the news, oh, that's the problem with this woke culture. They talking about black folks. Well, these BLM folks out here. See, everybody who speaks up against oppression, speaks out against oppression, speaks out against racism, speaks out against police brutality, injustice in the court system, they're either called in a negative way, referred to as woke, or they'll say that everybody's Black Lives Matter. These Black Lives Matter people are, everything is Black Lives Matter because somebody black stood up against injustice. But when they're calling you woke, they say these woke. They talking about black folks. That's all it is. See? But they got to speak their language because everybody, there are a few people that still got something to lose. Now, every now and then, one of them will crash out because they'll do something on social media, like the white dudes who was following the black dude through his neighborhood about a week or two ago. He lived in the neighborhood. This ain't the first time we've seen this type of story, but he lived, and they just following him. And the dude got his phone, hey, man, why y'all following me, man? Why y'all following? What's the deal, man? Where are you going? What are you doing around here? Who do you know around here? Just unnecessary harassment. So they go out of their way. They go above and beyond to harass those people. And every now and then one of them does that and they end up crashing out because they're so entitled and they feel so invincible that they don't take into consideration that you see this dude filming, the dude got his phone. Your face is showing clear as day. This is you. And the guy lost his job because it got back to his job. Somebody said, oh, that's such and such. And they shot it to his job. And it ain't always black folks that'll do. Sometimes white people will be fed up with that and they'll report the guy like, oh, this is just terrible. And he lost his job. And I don't feel bad that he lost his job. Because on your day off, probably got fired on his day off, you had nothing else better to do than to harass this black man just for walking through the neighborhood. Not because he was doing anything suspicious, not because he was walking around peeking inside cars, pulling door handles and all. He wasn't doing none of that. It's just because you saw him, you hated him, and you decided that you and the boys were going to take action. So every now and then, some of them will crash out like that because they don't think it's going to be a repercussion for them. But most of them are like, no, I got to still maintain some degree of political correctness because they are thinking about, oh, no, I don't want to go too far with this. See? So they'll use the code words. Like somebody just said, garbage. These animals, these crooks, these thugs, who are they talking about? You talking about your presidents? That's what it sounds like to me. But we'll move on to another level of it. I ain't gonna hold y'all long. We'll move on to another level of it. Another way where mislabeling becomes dangerous, you got to be careful when you're mislabeling people. When you're doing it, period, but especially when you're doing it out of envy and jealousy and being petty and spiteful and evil because somebody may be living a lifestyle that you don't necessarily agree with, or you may feel like that person shouldn't be doing what they're doing. You call yourself looking out for them. What am I talking about? What are you talking about, Kay? You ever seen a man who spoils his woman? You ever seen a man who spoils his woman? He's in a relationship, girlfriend, wife, whatever it is, and he goes out of his way, keep money in her pocket, buying her gifts, randomly buying her gifts. Baby, look what I got you. I bought you a purse. Oh, she wasn't expecting it. They're fine. He's happy. She's happy. Everything seems to be cool. Then you got somebody on the sideline want to call the man a simp. Man, he always look at that man. You know, well, I ain't never gonna be simping for these women out here, man. I ain't no simp, man. They're just giving all this money away to this woman, man. Or you trick. Man, that's the problem, man. Y'all out here tricking, man. Y'all out here being tricks for these women, man, and that's what's messing up the game, and now that's messing the game. See, that's the problem. You playing the game. If both parties are happy, it's not none of your business what a person does with their money, what a man or a woman does with the money that they earn. You ain't giving them the money. So why are you so invested, mentally and emotionally invested in what people doing with the money that they earn? If he love that woman, he want to shower her with gifts and money, that's his business. Oh man, he a simp. See? So you've mislabeled that person. You mislabeled them. Because if we say, okay, well, what is a simp? What is a simp by definition? What we would know. Okay, if you got a brother and you clearly see that this person is using your brother, you seeing it with your own eyes, you went, hey, bro, man, I gotta let you know, man, your girl, and he keep doing it, man. Okay, then you might say, okay, all right, my brother kind of gone over. But it ain't your place to go there when none of that is in play. And you don't know the nature of their relationship. The man is happy, let the man be happy. If the woman is happy, let the woman be happy, because it gets magnified more if there's a woman who is doing things for her man, because in this society, in this day and age, it's presented in society now that under no circumstances should a woman be doing anything for a man. That's just the presentation. Girl, I wish I would give her in some money. I wish I would pay for the dinner. Why not? It's all right if you pay sometime. I would expect the man to pay most of the time. I would expect the man to take the lead when we go to the dinner, that he's gonna, hey, Miss Waitress, yeah, hand me that. I'll take that bill and let me open this thing up and I'll pay it. But every now and then, a good woman will throw a curve, you know. I mean, and I guess I shouldn't even call it a curve. Every now and then, a good woman say, well, no, baby, I got it tonight. Let me treat you tonight. Then that man gonna say, no, you ain't gotta do that. I got it. Then she might say, no, you always pay. Let me do this for you tonight. I got it. Then he might go, all right, okay. But he already got it in mind. That was just tonight. Next time I got it. Meanwhile, it's somebody at the other table looking. The woman at the other, she paying, or he making her pay for the food. Mislabeling. Mind your business. That's the biggest problem that we have, is that we always trying to mind somebody else's business. Whatever they do in their relationship that they happy with, we don't have to agree with it. We don't have to, it doesn't even have to be something that we would do. We may look at it like it's insane, but how many of these so-called good relationships, how many of them are working out? A lot of them ain't working out. So we look kind of silly trying to tell somebody else what, argue with somebody else about something that's making them happy. So you're going to call a man a simp. You're going to call a man a trick. Call a woman a simp or a trick. Is that a simp at, or a trick at? See? Stay out folks' business, man, because you start to plant those kind of seeds among other people. So now you're talking to other folks. Yeah, man, yeah, Bobby boy. That girl breaking Bobby. That man, he spent all his money on that girl, man. That boy gonna be broke, man. No stuff. What Bobby doing, man? Bobby out there tricking behind that woman, man. Ain't even the case. That's Bobby's wife. And even if it ain't his wife, now you planting these seeds. Now Bobby come around and everybody looking at Bobby like, hey, whew. Because you mislabeled this man based on your ignorance and your, like I say, your envy or your jealousy. You mad because Bobby got the money to be able to do that. Or another woman, the female, mad because she wishes that somebody was treating her the way Bobby treated his woman. It's crazy, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy. It's dangerous to mislabel people, man. Simple stuff. Anybody that's in this chat right now, it ain't many of us in here tonight, but I can guarantee you that at some point in your life, you've been mislabeled. Somebody has labeled your character something that's not even you. Somebody said, females, somebody said, you mean. They called you mean before. Or even dudes. People used to say, people used to meet me. This happens to me. This have happened to me so many times. When people get to know me, they say, man, I thought you was mean. And you're like, why? What make you think I was mean? And I think back to all of my old album covers. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I did have the tendency to mean mug on pictures. You go back to my early album covers, you didn't see no smiling. I still don't be cheesing like that now. I don't be cheesing at all on my album cover. So I can see where that perception would come from, but sometimes it's not even about that. Sometimes people just look at you. You might be in deep thought, you just sitting there thinking, say nothing to her, she mean. See? And when you do that, people can lose opportunities behind that. Somebody might not want to hire this person because of something you said, because of a non-existent characteristic that you have applied to them. Got to be careful with that, man. Bass, you might be the only one that lost audio. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Microphone check 1 2. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just say yes. Okay, so Bass, that's on your end, man. You got some stuff going on, man. You got some stuff going on, Base. You ever had a situation where somebody didn't like you and you never understood why they didn't like you? You never knew why you could just tell. It's like, man, it seems like he liked me or something. They got a problem with me. Then you find out later that they did have a problem with you, but it was based around something somebody else had said to them about you. They had been fed a false perception about you, a false image of you by somebody else. Then later on, you find out. Man, I gotta tell you something, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I ain't like you at first, man, because somebody told me you be that. Like, what? You don't know, man. You don't know who be saying what. I used to think you was selfish. Why? You know how in sports, you can be a great player, but you never won the big one. You haven't won the big one yet. You made it there, didn't get there, made it there. Then the media, the sports media, they label you as a loser. They label you as you choked, choke artist, a choker. And those labels stick with you until you're able to win and erase that negative label that's been placed on you. It ain't fair, man. You lost one time, now you a loser. I went to jail one time, now I'm a criminal. I'm a convict. See, they say, well, he's a convict because he went to prison, he was convicted, and he was convicted, so technically he's a convict. Okay, he's a felon. Okay, but the eternal negative stain that applies on people is something again that you got to be careful with, because you could be a convicted felon. A person can be a convicted felon. They committed a felony crime. They were convicted of it. They went to prison, did time, that they out, but they not that person no more. People change, contrary to what other folks might not believe. Some people got in trouble one time and never did it again, but they still got that label on their forehead. That ain't right to me. You a repeat offender, you just constantly doing stuff, constantly getting into robbing, stealing, selling drugs, doing okay, yeah. You, sir, are a criminal, a career criminal. You, sir, are a liar. You, sir, are a thief. You didn't steal one time, you stole multiple times. You always stealing. You a thief. Okay, cool. But the people who make one mistake and never go back to that, why do they get lumped into that same pool with those who continue to do it, right? Why do they get lumped into that? Is that fair? They can't get a job. They don't get any opportunities. Is that fair? He's a criminal. He's a convict. He got drunk one night and got out of pocket. Oh, he's old drunk. He's alcoholic. No. Those labels, man, even from a visual standpoint. What do I mean even from a visual standpoint? Sometimes it's not about what's said. Sometimes it's about what you might see. So you may see a person who's being other than themselves in a moment in time, man. You just caught that person on one bad night and they was going off cussing somebody out in Burger King one day. And you like, man, that dude, that's crazy. That's another one. Crazy. I'll tell you another one. So you can telling people they crazy and all that, man. But here's a big one. Mislabeling people. And a lot of people are guilty of this. They mislabel their own children. Some knowingly, some unknowingly, but you got a young child and you always telling your son or your daughter, hey, boy, you bad. Sit your bad down. Sit your retarded self down. Or even worse, you dumb mother. People talk to their children like that. Calling a child dumb. Calling a child bad. Calling a child crazy, stupid. All these words. And I ain't talking about 8, 9, 10, 12 years. I'm talking about 2, 3 years old. I have seen it. I have witnessed it. This ain't something I'm making up. You going in on your children like that. What is that doing to them? What is that drilling in their head? What is that drilling into their head to hear mama or daddy telling them they ain't gonna never be nothing? Telling them how trifling they are, and this and this and that. And it's not warranted. I can see if he's 35, he ain't moved out the house yet, he's 35, he can't keep a job. But as a young child, 10, 11, 9, 8, 3, 4, there's no justification to put those kind of labels on a child that early, because you are shaping them. You're shaping them to either become that based on the repetition that you keep applying while you keep saying that, okay, well, mama said I was bad. Let me go out here and walk into my badness, walk into my destiny. Or it creates a cycle. So when they have children, they do the same thing. Maybe the mother is part of the cycle. The father is part of who's saying it to the child. Maybe it got said to them. But it's dangerous. Because we're not speaking life into the babies, we're not speaking no life into them. We already setting them up. And then when you get that phone call that Junior's in jail, and we never think about that. We're like, man, where did I go wrong, man? I mean, man, I gave that boy everything, man. I made sure you had a roof over your head. I made sure you had food. You always had school clothes to wear. And yeah, you naming those types of things, but what about this? What about this and this? You didn't give them none of this kind of action. You didn't give them no heart, no love, no time. You didn't give them no words of encouragement. I've known some rough parents that can talk pretty rough, but a lot of them that I've known that talk pretty rough, some of them at the very least, they had balance. It wasn't all rough. I've seen parents cussing them babies out, and then, you know, a little bit later on, they hugging them back. It's a balance. Now, I ain't saying it's all right to just be going in like that, but at least the child get to see some love inside compared to nothing. Is that Kaya Lux Rex 87? I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Appreciate the donation. The Grand Deception changed my life. I never thought I'd get to tell you. Well, you telling me today, man, I sure appreciate that, man. God is great. And I appreciate that. Is that Kaiolus Rex? Thank you, man. Got to be careful with them labels, man. We learn to speak life into people. People hold that in forever, especially when it comes from somebody that like that's supposed to love them. Like when the most hurtful words can come from mother or somebody you feel like supposed to really love you, daddy, brother, sister, wife, husband, child. A child can tell their parents something that's just hurtful. Now on to the government. The game is set up so crazy to where, and it's split so down the middle, society is split so down the middle to where if you oppose one view, you're automatically labeled as whatever the label of the opposite side is. So if I disagree with a Republican, somebody's going to say, well, that's the problem with y'all Democrats, even though I'm not a Democrat. If I disagree with a Democrat, well, see, that's what's the y'all Republicans are all alike. Not a Republican. If I agree with the Democrats, see, nah, too many points of views for us to not. I can agree with somebody that I could look at and say I would never even shake this guy's hand, but he might say something. I say, well, yeah, that is true. Truth is true. But how the government, as we take it back to media, how they'll get you in order to be able to carry out agendas, they'll take a leader of another nation and they'll call them a terrorist. They'll say that that particular country is a terrorist nation. Now think about that for a minute. You got a whole country of people, just regular working people, wherever they are, whatever language it is they speak, whatever continent that they're on. If that government is in disagreement with this government, then there's a potential chance that they're going to be mislabeled by this government. And in a lot of cases, the trigger word to really make sure that the American people sway towards their side and like, hey, we stand in solidarity, is if they use the word terrorist. Because the word terrorist indicates that this individual is a threat to you. So you throw that word out there and all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's a terrorist. That means that they could possibly launch missiles. They could possibly launch an attack on American soil, on American people, on American civilians. Terrorists. Ding, 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 ding. Trigger word. Dictator. When you refer to the individual who leads that particular country that's at odds with the United States, well, he's a dictator who blah, 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 blah. All these words, dictator, ding, 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 ding. Dictator, terrorist. He's a terrorist dictator. They'll call him a maniac. He's a maniac. He's unhinged. He's a maniac. So all that strikes fear, puts fear in your heart to like. So now whatever they do here in the United States, whatever this government does is instantly applauded and like urged on by the people. Like, yeah, do it. Got to get rid of him because he's a terrorist. He might be. He's a dictator. He might be, but he might not be. And if he's not, and you've lied on somebody, because these are nations that have been in operation for years and years and years and years and years. There are people who live in those countries who have been born, grew up, got old, died, had no issues, loved their country, very patriotic, represent their country, hold a flag up, all this stuff. So the picture is painted by American media telling you how to feel about somebody that's in a country that you've never even been to. And we swallow it like candy. We arguing. Man, that man is crazy over there. Did you hear what he did to his people? They said that he such and such to his own people. Never once thinking in your heart or your mind, using your own sense to say, well, man, give me a sheet of paper. Let me lay out a list of all the things that the American government have done to people in America. So-called American people. You can name a laundry list of things that the American government has done to her own people. But you're worrying about what the media is saying them people doing to their people. Well, let them handle that. Let them deal with that. We're going to go over there and we're going to remove him. It's not right what he's doing to their people. What? That ain't why you really want to remove him. It's not the real reason. Man, you got another motive. We falling for that crap. I got one more, but I don't know if I should go into that one, but Massini choice just hit. Oh man, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one, Massini choice. Wow. How could I not think of that one? One of the biggest ways that they will kind of trick people a lot of times, that people will trick people, is when somebody calls you a follower, right? Man, don't be no follower. When you tell somebody to not be a follower, make sure that you complete the sentence. You can't say, hey, son, daughter, one thing in life to always remember, never be a follower, and then walk out the room. You can't say that. Because there are things that they should not follow. There are people that they should not follow, but it's a lot of good things that people that you can follow that is good to follow. You follow good leadership. You follow good examples. You follow good principles that you see in good people. So you got to complete the sentence with that part and complete the sentence with the other part. Say, don't be a follower of foolishness. Don't be a follower of people who gonna turn you into a crash dummy. Don't be a follower of ignorant people, of fools who don't care nothing about their own life, so they don't care nothing about yours. Don't be a follower of people who gonna lead you down the wrong road, get you smoking and drinking and doped up and getting locked up and killed. Don't be a follower of stupidity. Complete the sentence. But if you, when you go to the other part, say, but on the flip side, son or daughter, nothing wrong with following good principles and good people, good examples. I don't follow nobody. You'll follow lie. Because even the person who say they don't follow nobody, like I said, you following somebody because you heard them say that. So that was a real good one, Massini choice. I just happened to glance up. Oh, Diaz says they've been screaming dictatorship and panic ever since Julius Caesar almost got crowned. No question. Joe Wilson. Yeah, man, they labeled Gaddafi, boy. They made Gaddafi into like the worst person in the world, man. You look at Gaddafi, the things that he did for his country, man, with the things that he did in Libya, man. Amazing things. All the benefits and that government did for their people. Amazing things, from healthcare to education to housing. Gaddafi got a long list of things that he did, and man, they had it over here. I'm reading y'all's comments now. Is that Philanice Floyd? I'm glad we know everyone has agenda. People didn't want me to speak out for my people. Well, you know what? Unless people can physically your mouth, if you got it in your heart to speak, speak. Just do your best to make sure what you're speaking is the right thing to be spoke. Tim Schwed says, I feel like I'm in a foreign country. Hey, long live 3-2. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to start from the bottom, from the recent, and go back up this time. End of cadence, the band says. The first thing the news does is address the color and race of the situation. Yeah, because you have to line up the minds of those who are not that color or race, who don't like that color or race, and you got to set the stage for not only just the division, but the decision. It ain't always about the division. The division contributes to the decision. So yeah, like I say, they're gonna say he was a convicted felon, or he was born in the south side of Houston, and they're gonna always because they're gonna let you know who it is without letting you know who it is. I'm reading y'all comments. I'm going upwards though. Aaron Vasquez says there's nothing but puppet with strings. All of us will be angels with wings. Never give up. You're a poet and didn't know it. Grizz says 99.9% of the time it's all about money and power. Yeah, money and power and influence, control and influence. See, we don't know how remote controlled we really are on a daily basis. We're swapping down, we got our own mind, and we free thinkers and all that. We are remote controlled every day. Every day we under remote control. Just social media itself has such a stranglehold on the world, and particularly American society, because I'm gonna have to look up and Google how much time a day individuals are estimated to spend on social media. People spend the majority of their day like this, looking down. I need to make a song called Looking Down, huh? Woo-hoo. I'm gonna make a song called Looking Down. Should I do it? Looking Down. Yeah, I'm gonna make that song. Y'all be looking for that on the next album or some album down the line. I'm writing it down now so I won't forget. So all we do is look down. So see what y'all talk about. Universal mother of all the personality types. Miss Lady Sample says they need to shut down the war machine. They ain't gonna do that. That's what that's war is big business in America. But ironically, the business of war in America is gonna be what puts America out of business. Oh boy, I'm kidding them. Nah, I'm just playing. Yeah. RGB King says that's where I get my bricks. So shout out to the government. And don't be saying that. Folks gonna be at your door. I see somebody asking about the yellow in their eyes. That's like jaundice, man. Let's get that checked out. Um, like Connie said, that deals with your liver. You know, the liver is the organ that's responsible for getting rid of a lot of the toxins, you know, and if you overload it to where the liver is working so hard, man. But that's a jaundice. It could be other things too. But like Connie said, typically that's something that points to the liver. I'm trying to go up a little further back, y'all. Aaron Albanese says, I became a stepdad of a 4-year-old way before I had a child of my own. That is difficult. Go listen to a song I did called Stepping Up. Aaron, you familiar with a song I did called Stepping Up? If you're not, go listen to that song. Connie says the parents do this, meaning mislabel the child. The child believes the parent. They don't know how to protect themselves. I believe what was said to me, only to have other people tell me that's not you. Woo! Then I begin to believe. Yeah, it's bad when you get torn down in your own house by your own family. I can imagine. That didn't happen to me. I didn't grow up like that. I grew up with love, but I've seen it. And I know people who, to this day, you know, they got strained relationships because of how their parents handled them and dealt with them. Because you tend to believe it. Somebody say you dumb and ain't gonna never be nothing enough times, and you young and impressionable, then like, man. So other people have to see the value in you, and thank God if they do. Miss Lady Sample said, you don't ever, ever, ever tell a child they are bad. You can say what you are doing is bad and explain the right way. Never tell a child that you're bad. Wise words spoken. Oh, Diaz says, I always remind people that they are not what they do, that they are much more than that behavior. Yeah. Only until you do it a lot. Like I say, if everywhere we go, you steal something out the store, you a thief, bro. But if you made one mistake, man, I was hungry, man. I didn't have no money. I had no way to get no food, man. My little brother was hungry, he had to eat. And I slept in them and I stole that pack of lunch meat, man. You know, that was the only time I ever did. Yeah, okay. I see my brother Jesse Paris is in the building. Y'all hit the like button if y'all haven't already, man. We got a light night tonight. I'm looking for some scientists. I'm looking for astronomers and scientists. I'm ready to go into some deep stuff on my podcast. If y'all haven't seen the latest episode of the Underground Dialogue podcast, please go watch it. Go watch the latest episode of the Underground Dialogue podcast, y'all. It aired night before last. I'm still reading y'all comments. I've said what I got to say, man. I'm trying to see what y'all got to bring to the conversation. K9 Service Rehabilitation said, and greed. Yeah. Your reward is on the way because you gave a lot. That sounds familiar. We're staying on topic tonight. Any questions that are off topic, we won't be answering those. Yeah, L. I'm gonna make a song called Looking Down. All right, well, I'm trying to see what y'all got to bring, man. I'll let y'all make it. Yeah, go listen to Stepping Up. But keep your antenna up, man. Keep your antenna up when you watch the news, when you look at social media. Don't be so quick to just assume that everything you hear is true or everything they say is true. Could be, but do your homework. Make sure you know before you, and don't go spreading and talking about stuff immediately because bad news travels fast, and we always seem to get more motivation and energy behind negativity. So we got to reverse that within ourselves. Lewis Lawson says all Fred Sanford did was call Lamont dummy. And he was grown. Lamont was grown, man. Yeah. All right, man. Well, y'all drop y'all locations, man. Drop y'all locations. I had to do this topic because I just saw how they were seemingly trying to line this brother up out here, man. They trying to line him up for to really try to bury him by label. I'm not even repeat it, man. I can't pronounce your name, but you in Michigan. Can't read that language. Erica done slipped in here. Erica's from Beaumont, Texas. Phantom Face Final done slipped in here, man. Y'all just been laying in the cut. I ain't seen y'all early on. Phantom Faces in Columbus. Jab Bad in H-Town. L is on Kruger and Doolittle. Say L. So I know you saw the ties that bind us video. Blank was right there. We was right there on Kruger, man. We shot the video a couple of weeks ago. Instinct Hip Hop is in Cape Town, South Africa. I hope to go to South Africa one day. O Diaz is in the Netherlands. Clayton Johnson is in Columbus. Columbus always represent. Miss Lady Sample, Northern Wisconsin. Philanese Floyd is in H-Town. Hallie B. Wow, your youngest fan was just born October the 3rd in Panama. Man, salute. Boy or girl? What we got, Hallie? What we got? That's what's up. Tim Schwed, KCK, Kansas City, Kansas. Okay. J Dizzle, what's up, JD? I see you. Fort Worth is in the building, SPC2G. I see my brother Pete Wee, aka Triple X, the OG, is up in this piece, man. H-Town representing, South Park Coalition representing. Yeah. Joe Wilson. Yeah, Justin, you got to get here on time, man. Joe Wilson is in Northern Territory, Australia. Grizz is in Vancouver, Canada. We all over the place. We got the Netherlands. We got Australia. We got Canada. We got South Africa. We binging all over the world. George Alberto, what's going on? Yucatan. Man. The topic was mislabeling people. We try to apply negative labels on people, and it's detrimental. It changes perception publicly, privately, and it's dangerous. The media is the kings of that. The Ties That Bind, the South Park Coalition album is out, y'all. Who don't have the album yet? Who don't have it yet? You ain't got to answer. Just go get it. All the digital sites got it. Aaron Albanese is in Front Royal, Helltown, Virginia. We're gonna have physical copies coming soon, Erica. Yeah. Firstborn, his name is Elijah. Wow, that's a strong name. Elijah, Emmanuel. Yeah, he got some powerful names. Yeah. Emmanuel means God with us. Helping Hands Animal Batwing Rescue. Rescuing bats since 1999. Rescuing wounded bats. But we never see the bats again. We mysteriously never see. When the bats get rescued, we don't see them no more. Massini Choice is in New Zealand. So we got New Zealand, we got Australia, we got the Netherlands, we got South Africa, we got, what else did I say? Australia. I said Australia twice. There's another country I forgot. Join Ramo is up in this thing. Yeah. That's what's up. Yeah, we haven't printed out the CDs yet. They coming though. They coming, y'all. I'm glad to hear y'all talking about physical copies. I love that. I'm talking about. Keep the CDs alive. Keep the CDs alive. CD, CD, CD. We want CDs. We want CDs. Physical copies. Keep it alive, man. 5,000 bats were rescued from a cave that was about to cave in the other day. But strangely, none of the bats have been located since the rescue. For those statements. Helping Hands Rehabilitation is being questioned right now for those statements. That's inside. Y'all don't know about that. Oh, man, you lucky we got time. Be real. How can the bats find their way back to the roost if we're spinning on a globe? Oh, my God. Oh, y'all gonna keep playing with me up there. Whoa, y'all gonna keep playing with me about this flat earth stuff, boy. One day, be real. I'm gonna remember you. The day we do that. That's what I'm trying to set up on my show. I want to have a flat earth debate on my show. I just need qualified people that can speak on both sides. I tell you what, D-Real, I'll give you this before I go. I don't know if you're familiar with the final experiment. Y'all flat earth days might be over real soon. Next month, matter of fact. Flat earth community is scared right now. Those who know, not the ones who've been suckered into that belief. Y'all still think it's all good. For those statements. All right, I'm still shouting y'all out. Any more shout outs? Any more shout outs? Any more shout outs? What do we got? Hit the like button before y'all go. We're not going to get to 100 likes tonight because I'm finna get out y'all way. But if you haven't clicked the like button, you're just coming in, go on, click it. Click it a ticket. Click it a ticket. Yeah, that final experiment gonna line y'all up. That final experiment gonna fix y'all business because y'all don't even see it. Y'all don't know what's coming. Well, y'all know some of the ones who are suckering people out their money with the flat earth lie. They know what's coming. That's why they didn't want to go over there. They got invited. Oh man, I can't believe Lord Jamal got suckered into that, man. That broke my heart. All right. Already. I see my brother. I'll catch y'all later, man. I appreciate the love. Y'all do this before we leave. Go check out the latest episode of the Underground Dialogue podcast. It just aired Wednesday. Y'all go watch that. Run the numbers up on that. Subscribe to this channel and that channel. And our latest episode of Legends 34 podcast, my sports podcast, along with the homie DJ Rec. Y'all make sure y'all go support the sport. Y'all be sleeping on the sports podcast, man. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. And that's right, Mitchie 450. The game goes on. And so do I. All right, peace.